Hey guys, Dr. Mike here from Brain Optimization Institute. We've been talking a lot in the office, together as doctors, but then also to our patients about some things that we can be all doing at home to keep our brains, our nervous system, and our immune system really operating on a healthy, optimal function. Right now, more than ever, it's important to really pay attention to these things because with all of the stresses that we're being bombarded with, all of the stuff in the news, all of the stuff around us, it's really going to take its toll on our body and our brains. So not only to keep our immune system healthy and functioning so that we don't get the virus or have the virus be as severe for us, but also, when we get to the other side of this thing, we want to make sure that we're still optimal and we're still healthy as we get to the other side of this. There's been a lot of reports out there about depression being at an all-time high, about spousal abuse and child abuse numbers rising as people are kind of cooped up inside and have all of these stresses bombarding them. It really takes its toll on our brain and our ability to control both our emotions, but also our immune function and just everything else that our brain regulates, which is everything, right? So I wanted to kind of share with you guys how we're working at home as well as in the office to take care of our brains and keep our brains off of that high alert. Our brains weren't meant to have stress for months and months and months on end, which is kind of what we're dealing with right now. So we've got to have some ways to shut that stress response off and even kind of bring the function of the other parts of the brain up that help to dampen that too. So you already heard from Dr. Kathy about the importance of good foods, eating nothing with a label on it, pretty much. If it's a label and it's got a whole bunch of ingredients, your brain's got to work that much harder, or your body's got to work that much harder to break down all of that. So it doesn't have the ability to dedicate the resources and things like that to the brain optimal function. So when we eat stuff that's junk food or comes in a box or has a bunch of preservatives, that's a lot more that our brain and our body has to do and a lot less energy that we can expend on keeping our brain healthy. So we want to have, optimal clean foods. The other thing, you got to get outside. You got to get some sunlight on you, get the vitamin D kicking, get outside, go for a walk. Movement is life. Our brain needs movement to have good function. It needs to have that energy flowing. It needs to have the information coming from your legs. It needs to have you taking in that sensory environment, but do it in a safe way. Respect other people's space while you're outside, keep your distance and allow everybody to experience outside well. So good foods, getting outside, getting some sun, and getting some movement and some exercise into you. And the other thing, you got to be creative. Literally be creative. So one, you got to maybe be creative on what kind of exercises to come up with, how you can exercise in your home now versus going to the gym. Body weight exercises are a really good thing to do. But also be creative in general. Create something. If you're good with painting, paint. Get get anything out. Get a piece of paper out. Draw, paint. If you have the artistic ability like I do, which is zero, people struggle with trying to figure out what my stick figures are. Create something else. Create something with words. Write a story. Write a letter to a loved one. It's really hard in this time of being away from people, and we have this great technology to be able to FaceTime. But getting back to old school stuff like writing a letter to somebody is a really good thing to do. It allows you to create something with words. If you want to drive your wife or your husband nuts, go around the house, grab random stuff, and try to put it together and create something like that. Build something. But use the creative part of your brain. The creative part of your brain, that right side, is also going to help and control that immune function. So the more we get into that creativeness, the more we utilize that part of our brain, we'll be able to see the big picture as well. So we'll be able to see that this is going to end. Like this too shall pass, right? We're going to be on the other side of this, and we can see that everything's going to be okay. And that allows us to turn off that stress response. The other thing that we do a lot of in the office is neuroemotional technique with each other. We can do it, via FaceTime and Skype and different things like that as well with some of our patients. But it allows us to shut down what I refer to as those limbic loops. The limbic brain is that part that really deals with stress and fear, and that's the part of the brain we really need to work on shutting off. So, get outside, go for walks, movement, eat healthy foods, be creative, turn on that creative side of your brain, paint, draw, write, whatever it is, and make sure somebody's shutting down some of those limbic loops for you. So hope you guys are staying safe and healthy, and we'll see everybody soon.